Welcome back. How you all doing? My name is Marx and this is episode 15. This episode is going to be a bit different to the rest. Kind of. Mainly because it's going to have a guest. So we're just waiting right now for said guest. And then we're going to have a bit of a special episode. Now this has been planned for well over a year at this point. More or less from the world's conception. It was kind of just an idea I had. And it may be a little bit early in the world development, I guess. But it still makes sense. It'd be fun to have someone else on. Just for a one-off. So we'll jump straight to that, I guess. Vlad, you here?
Yes, hello.
Hello. Right, so we've had this plan for like over a year. I know it's been over a year.
Yeah,
it's been a while. It's been a while, but it was like early days of this when I was playing more and thought it would come quicker. And yeah, life happened, and we're only here now, but we're here.
Dank life getting in the way.
Yeah, but you've kindly agreed to do a world so far tour. Can't really call it a world tour.
I've been watching your videos.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be nice to come and see it in real life, as it were.
Now we've got a little something planned later on. So I've got some stuff in this chest for you for later on, just to ease getting around. It's a guest box, basically.
Nice.
I nearly called it a Flazlytra, but then I thought, no, but I'll just go with guest. There is some cheese themed boxes later on now. Right, so we're going to start technically not at the beginning of where the world was. Oh yeah, look at that. Achievements. Well, technically we're going to start here, because this is world spawn.
Exactly there.
Exactly here, yeah. Exactly on this spot. So we did an audio test the other day, and I was telling you my incident here with the lodestone respawn anchor, which, to be fair, for a world spawn, they look great until I clicked it and blew up pretty much everything that was here, which wasn't so great. But yeah, so this is I think it's more or less where world spawn originally was. I don't actually remember if I moved it. I may have mentioned it in the episode when I built it if I moved it, but it might have actually been here, and I just dug away the land as I do and made a burnt down building. Kind of like a watchtower.
It's not a tree.
I don't do that many trees. There's only maybe like 100 or so on the server so far that I did. Plenty more that I didn't.
It's an addiction. You need help.
Yeah, that and terraforming. So as I said, we're going to start up in here, and the village up the top, which is the starter village, and kind of follow our way around because the path kind of leads this way. So it's a weird place to start here, but yeah, we're gonna head up here. So I was under the impression I didn't get random natural spawns anymore. And I've just seen a sheep hop the fence.
They're just hiding from you.
Oh yeah,
He's coming over the fence.
I don't know how it'll have got in though, that's the thing. Oh, it's only one block here. Not a very safe wall, is it? The zombies could very much get in here. Never mind. So yeah, this is Oak Village, I guess. Yeah, Oak Village. I say I guess. I should know the name of the place. It's Oak Village. So this is where the world begins. Obviously not where I began, but it's where the world begins. So the law is that they arrived here and basically just deforested what was here. Because it was originally a plains when I first looked at the world, and then the cherry trees got added and stuff came through that. So yeah, I had to kind of deforest a little bit first. Outside of that, they landed here, liked the place, decided to settle, and they are the new settlers of the world, and they're living off the land essentially, and very vegetable-based diet, except for the bees, which you may be able to hear underneath us.
No
No?
bees.
Okay, so they live off vegetables and honey essentially.
There's worse diets, I guess.
Yeah. Now each sort of family, I guess, has something that they tend to. So like the one up here is like the village chief, and obviously they tend to eat. Oh, that's not good. You saw nothing. That didn't happen. Yeah, so they tend to the wheat fields. We've got technically tomatoes behind us. I know they're roses,
Okay.
but we're pretending they're tomatoes.
They're so tomatoes.
Kind of do look like tomatoes a little bit, but that's Doc's perspective.
They look juicy.
They're very ripe tomatoes. They do look like good tomatoes, and lots of them. We've got carrots down at the bottom. A to be build, which now we have. So you've watched the video, so you know the dwarves are coming, or are kind of here but not here yet. So there's a build there and one at the bottom, which are coming along with the dwarves because they need their ingenuity, I guess, to actually pull off what they want to pull off. Now this is actually, no, it's not the only place I've done all the interiors. These actually have interiors here. They're very basic because
basic people, basic needs.
Yeah, exactly. They're not the most knowledgeable, so they did what they could. It would be like cob walls and that sort of stuff, but you know, Minecraft doesn't have cob. Technically, I could use mud, but I preferred the sort of whitey cobbled look.
Looks cozy.
Then we got the like you yesterday. The I'm not used to creative. We've got the straw. The bamboo as a straw roof. In the past, I've done it with sandstone and birch, but bamboo gives a better representation, I think, color-wise.
Yeah,
and a bit more proofing.
And there's more variety to it as well.
Exactly, you can give it a bit more texture, I guess, with the what are they called, the mosaic stairs and blocks and things. Now there is only about 4 varieties, I think, of house, maybe 5, and some are just cookie cutter repeated. Like the, where'd you go? Oh, you're up there. Like the carrot house is the carrot house is repeated over here. I'm going to show you this one because I keep hearing it and you say you can't. So this is the beekeeper's house, I guess. And if we sneak in and come down here,
because it's short people that live here.
yeah. Sure.
Oh, now I can hear them.
So obviously for localization to this place, I kept them here, and also so I could have a farm there underground. And well, that's just kind of overspill for now. I don't actually harvest it too much anymore. I did to start with. I had quite a bit of honey left in the storage that I've not used. But yeah, this is what I can hear up top. And then going into their garden, kind of garden. Very basic house, again. But they do have a second floor, more of a second floor. It's all just like an open bedroom. They got like a bunk bed and just a single bed.
That's nice. I could live like this.
Yeah, it's got everything you need. You've got a little kitchen under the stairs. You've got your table to eat at. There's storage. Got a window. nice weather. Got your
Very clement.
bees out in the garden. Free range bees.
Nice.
You know, if you ignore the ones that are imprisoned in the basement.
I think that sheep's looking at me.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one who ran away earlier, so he's probably just waiting for us to disappear to run back in. Yeah, so this was the start of the custom trees in this world. Not these ones, more the big one in the middle. I think was actually the first custom tree in this world. But
It looks amazing.
Thank you. I can't take credit for this one though. I stole it from Daybound, where I stole it from somewhere else, but I don't remember where I stole it from. So it's just a slightly adjusted one. So it's kind of mine, but also not, because it's originally by someone else from somewhere else that I don't remember. But all the others actually are, including the hybrid cherry thing. Where'd you go?
That's pretty.
Oh, you're looking at the hybrid cherry thing. This was my homage to the fact that this was a cherry biome beforehand.
It's really good.
But I didn't just want to do full pink leaves, so yeah, we have half and half.
Oh, that's really nice.
And a giant potato field just behind it.
Oh, I do like a potato. The most versatile of the vegetables.
Yes. So the thought was that everything's going to be traded at the central trade island eventually when the law gets there, including this, which is why some of the fields are oversized for the village. I mean, there'd be a lot of waste with this size field here. It's a lot of potatoes, a lot of carrots,
a lot of mash.
Yes, and then over here, I'm getting stuck on my giant boulders. This is a courtesy of Green, an onion field.
Yeah.
So these all have string above them, but they're pitcher pods. But you get them, you let them get to this growth stage, and then you string them, or you string them before they get to this stage. Either way, and obviously they stop here rather than getting to the too high bit, and they either turnips or onions, whichever. Probably more turnips, isn't it? They are more turnipy, I guess.
Yeah. As I was flying here, I thought it might be cabbages. But now, yeah, I see the turnip.
Yeah, they lack the green for cabbages. And now we've just got beets and pumpkins and melons and berries. I think this was actually the first one I built, because I started from this end and worked my way that way and terraformed in the process, or before, and then built. I don't know, it was a while ago, but the trees definitely came after. But the world is designed to be done at foot level, just because of scale wise what I've gone off at. So rather than go massive and it'll look better from like up high, I've tried to keep it kind of like a realistic height. I mean, it's Minecraft, so that's never going to be 100% plausible, but like 2 meter floors, more or less. Like 3.5 because Minecraft, or like 3. But you know, it's trying to keep it there. At least I did to start with. They're both rested, no bad. It kind of moves away from that purely because you can't get enough in size level, you have to kind of scale up to be able to fit more in.
Yeah.
Which happens in the first town. But at this scale and this type of build, it still worked. So kind of went with it, and it's like that for a bit. But as I said, we're moving away from that. Now, this obviously being the first village, then comes down this giant, slightly treed slope. You're gonna see a lot of trees, and this leads to a little fishing spot down here, which when they discovered the river, they discovered meat through fish, and it kind of leads to then obviously a fishing village developing, and boats, and discovering Mushroom Island, and bringing cows back, and this guy getting exiled because he started eating meat. So yeah, he's exiled from the village because he decided to bring some cows back and farm cows. Keep losing you. So yeah, this within the world, this is the start of the disconnect from the original village, because he fancied changing his diet, and the house is different. So he fancied changing his diet, got the cows, which obviously introduces milk as well, and was exiled out here all on his own, away from the village, not allowed to really have much contact with them. And that's going to lead to the whole trade empire starting, because this guy's got ambition. He wants to move within the world. He's got big plans. Might be some tragedy on the way. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
The introduction of protein in the diet suddenly grew the brain power of the people.
Yeah, sure. But then we've just got this little fishing dock down here, which initially I had some fishing rods kind of just stacked up. I don't know where they went. They just disappeared, and yeah, they were armor stands and everything. Oh, I'm stuck. Cool. So I don't know what happened with it. But
it looks like it's seen better days. Yeah, seems a bit out of use now.
Well, no, these are meant to be fishing nets, not so much abandoned. There's just nothing really that kind of depicts a fishing net all that well in Minecraft. So cobwebs is what people use. So where you see cobwebs to start with are fishing nets. Okay.
Fishing net.
Fishing nets.
Gotcha.
Yes. I've not actually used any as like abandoned derelict yet. Hence why there was none as a world spawn. And one thing as well that I've tried to do is play with sight lines a little. So stuff, you'll start to see peaks of stuff. So like from here we get like the peak of the roof of the architect's house. Him being like the kind of the, I don't know, just the progenitor of the world, I guess. Just keeps his eye on things. I mean, in reality, it's just an excuse for me to be in the world. But yeah, that's the main thing. So we see peaks of it coming through the current treeist area, and kind of went a little overboard, I think, with the decorating in this spot, because I went quite a bit back, like from the path. Everything you can see except for all the way over there is pretty much custom done up until like this pond, and it's literally past the pond. Sorry, I realized we should really get in a group actually. There we go. But yeah, past the pond, there's nothing but normal terrain, but the pond is like the end of it. So there was like this little step in the land anyway, and I thought it'd be nice to just add it in because it's kind of like the view from. Actually, there's no view from the bedroom window, but it's a view from the office. So there's two little windows at the top there of the office, looking out over the lake, and we've got all the fancy trees and everything.
It's very pretty.
But then this is also very secluded from everything, like you can't see anything from here. So like even like up at, there's no, can't see the village over the back of us, you can't see the fishing village, it's all within its own little world. Still part of the world. This is actually where the world started. It was originally a giant hole that I made bigger and had a bunch of cows in it, and me being me then terraformed it and turned it into this place. Conventionally, I don't like doing interiors because I feel I don't do them very well. But this one,
I don't know.
Well, this one I did in
Very
creative,
cozy.
so I had full range of everything. It's when I'm doing them off the cuff that I struggle with them.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's literally just decorative because I don't actually use this house for anything at all other than a landmark, I guess. Everything really happens underneath us. Ooh. And in here. So this is my this is the architect's computer for designing, which you shouldn't be able to see the arm stand. There we go. So this is where my assistant, who is not here right now, would sit and help design things where I now have done plans and stuff. Also, we've got the computer, the screen, the helmet, keyboard, and my mouse on the mouse pad.
Nice.
Don't know what it runs off.
Yeah.
We don't have electricity.
Magic.
Maybe there is magic in the world.
Yeah, I've seen your videos when you do the architecture thing. It's really good.
I need to do more of it, but it's tricky with some of the things I've had recently. And then we have the bedroom. As I said, from here we don't have a view over the window, and I do occasionally break into sleep in this bed. By breaking, I mean I literally break through this wall and come in here. As I said, everything mainly happens below us, and you coming? Not there. So
You're there. Oh.
I got fed up of walking the long way down, so I did make a shortcut in. But we're not going to go. No, never mind. I was going to say we're not going to go down there. Okay, we'll go down that way.
I fell.
Yes. So yeah, this is the storage.
Wow.
My storage bunker under the house. So this is where the cows were. Kind of. Now we have early progression of the world here from episode 2 at the top. So that was actually after I terraformed it, which for some reason has many map markers on it. And apparently episode 2 again must be episode 1 beginning, so it must be 1 then 2. I've mislabeled it. Then we have the house from episode 2, and in episode 3 that obviously 5 the path came, the village was done at the top, and from there it doesn't particularly progress too much here. So we have some trees start up here, we've got more trees, the pond's done properly, and we have a live map of the area here, which is a little bit bigger, which obviously shows a little bit of the fishing village, which we'll get down to there. But we do have names on, so we got the architect, Oak Village, and Willow Village, which we're going to shortly.
Nice.
And then the most recent one, which currently is just a single map piece. again, that is a tree name. Merbau, I believe it is. I tried to find like an underground or like hardy tree, and that's what I came across. So yeah, trees are a theme here. And then we have a larger map of the area, which includes Sycamore Town and Worldspawn. And
Nice.
the logging camp.
It's a really good idea. I like this. I might pinch this idea.
Updates now. Again, stolen from Grian. When he did it on season 6, I think it was, in his mansion.
Ah.
And if we look, well, I've not actually finished filling the chests. There's a lot more. They're full up to about here. Like this half is pretty, not full, but used. And then they get a bit sparse and empty. And then there's the Flazity section for later.
Cheese reference.
Yeah, if you look in, they're actually all called cheese box as well, and they're yellow.
Love it.
But yeah, this is for obviously for later on. We'll go out the correct way this time, because the other way is a little bit more of a hassle. But we're gonna go down first, because this is the nether and end storage down here, along with a soup smelter.
Ah.
Very basic soup smelter. I believe it's Wells Knight's design. I've used it before, and it's pretty straightforward and easy to use.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I recognise this from SMPs we've been on together.
Yes. Yeah, I put it in the. It was in the mansion on Daybound.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some coming this way, some micro farms down here, along with some big furry dudes. I needed somewhere to put them.
I think this is the closest I've ever come to one.
They took
I think
so long to find because I was just brushing away at gravel in the ocean, trying to find them, and then it turns out it has to be a specific biome. You get warm ocean for these things, but yeah, it just honestly I got them because I needed pitcher pods for the turnips, and now I have a few. Not sure where the wheat's from, and then it's just micro farm. So this is both for cocoa and I use it for ferns. So I'll just place ferns on and let it go and snip away. And then we have lichen over this side. And a mini concrete maker.
Ooh. This is a little different. My concrete maker has a lot of... It hardly ever goes into the chest. It seems to just go everywhere else.
So doing it this way, the hopper minecart instantly picks it up and then runs into a hopper and into the chest. Obviously you stand here, even though you're here, you don't get priority. But this, like, you can step back a bit, but this obviously spits out your next one. So you probably want like a quarter of a stack in your hand. And you just go at it and like just have at it. And obviously as it powers, so as you place the block, it powers across and spits it out. It goes surprisingly quick. And then you don't have to worry about collection because it's just underneath.
I might try this design next time I make one. That's clever.
I stole it from Sev. She used it on Dinnercraft, I think. And I remember her doing it, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to use that." Now down here is something. It's Lost Farm. Just a nice little small one. But I have an industrial scale one that I use for bone meal. But for just moss, I figured this would be enough. And it spits it out, goes up on a water stream and over this way, recomposts the stuff I don't need and sends it back. That bit is all my addition. This nice neat bit is the actual thing. Not a bad mountain though. It's not the most speedy thing, but it's enough for what I need it for. No, I don't need to fly. Nearly got my rockets out then to Elantra fly. Now, I don't have anything to show in the nether, so we're going to avoid that because...
Sounds good to me.
I've not done anything yet there yet. It's kind of a bit shameful. I'll go back the actual intended path. So, always here. And he's always there as well when he is here. When he's here, he just seems to loiter there.
He's got a spot.
Anyway, so the intended path would be you come up the stairs and you come along that way, and I got tired of doing that. So, hence the hole at the top. And when I'm not being extra lazy, I tend to just top over the fence, to be honest. So we have a felled tree here. Which is...
Oh, clever. I like that.
First time I actually tried doing it, I was like, I don't want to just have them all up. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and knock one over. And obviously we don't have anything going down. But it's kind of spread out a little bit and splattered and come a little bit around on this side. And initially the logs were, I had like actual log roots at the back, and then B-Dubs decided he was going to go and evolutionize tree building. So I changed the roots to more rooty looking things.
Spindly things. I
Yes.
like it. It works really well.
Then we've also got like the rooted dirt and a very obvious light source and a bit of roots in there.
Yeah, it's clever. I like that. That works really well.
We also have a familiar tree repeating on us over here. With this one. We've seen
If you hadn't said, I wouldn't have noticed. It just looks like another custom tree.
It does only make the 2 appearances, I think. It's not the biggest. The biggest is this giant mushroom tree over here, which...
Yeah, it looks amazing as well.
Thank you. This one is actually 100% me, and I and ahed over it for ages. It's very not realistic when you come underneath because it's got a very thick canopy, but it looked way too sparse and whatnot beforehand. But it's first attempt I've done at a tree this size, just kind of off the cuff. Normally they're like smaller ones, like the ones we've walked past.
No, it looks magnificent. You've done a really good job.
I needed, thank you very much, I needed something to cover like this spot, and I didn't want multiple, I just kind of wanted a big thing, since we've got this whole custom melted glacier deal going on here.
Well, there's nothing to challenge the tree for growth, so I think it kind of makes sense that it's filling up this space.
So
That's really good.
It's at the top of the hill, so it's kind of like it's taking pride of place. But yeah, it's all just to accompany like a dead space from the melting glacier, which was actually a hole here in the first place, but no water. And then I dug down all this area and cut through. So this was quite a bit of a hill. So we've got a nice flow down and a little bit of a waterfall forming here. And a tiny custom cliff. Teeny tiny one.
So, have you been down it on a boat yet?
Actually, I haven't.
That's screaming, go down on a boat.
From where? From the very top? From the top of the mount. But we actually have, because generally like melted glaciers and stuff, there's gold deposits that are released from them and minerals and things. So we actually have bits of gold forming at the bottom of the water here.
That's clever.
This kind of just flows off into the ocean. It doesn't particularly have anywhere it ends. It's just normal water mixing in with the ocean. Perfect for the ecosystem.
Makes sense.
And then we've got like the leftovers of a bit of a ruin up here as well. Don't know what that's from. It's kind of like the ruin of the watchtower over there, but not. And we got that. Not point. I don't know if we had one of these before yet, but we have these signs pointing to different places. Again, the architect. That's his formal name. So as I was
sounds
saying,
a bit dodgy to me.
Yeah, he could be a shady guy. Going from obviously their little fishing docks, they developed the fishing village. At this point, the world kind of was discovered by a few other people, and they had a little bit more knowledge with building, so building progressed a little bit by this point. It's a little bit more sturdy, but it's still very ramshackle. And this is kind of where I've started trying to introduce a little bit of life in with the Armistead mod. Now these are all cookie cutter houses. They're all very much homogeneous. Like, there's slightly different rotations and stuff inside, but they've got like the fishing rods, they've got nets, bed, a little kitchen and a desk. Like, there's not a lot to them.
People get together and start building a village. The houses tend to be all the same.
Very much
that happens nowadays.
Yeah.
Barratt housing.
Yeah, they are literally just the same. So this is the base of the location for the other building that was at the top that was empty. So this is where it's going to come down. It's going to be like a goods transport system. So rather than having to cart it down with a donkey or whatever, or carry it themselves, on like the however many days path it had been, they can just ferry it down on this thing and hoof it around on foot themselves. Not a people thing, but it's going to be like a like ski lifts, that kind of thing. But just have like, so it's going to have like a stop off on the top of that little bit of hill before the snow, and then redirect back up towards the village. So that's how they'll trade fish and vegetables with the village here. At this point, they've decided to start eating fish. They're very hypocritical.
Did they invite the bloke back?
No, he shunned. He moved on to cows, so he's definite old news.
Oh, so they're okay with fish, just not cows.
They developed to fish. Yes, they decided they needed a bit of actual protein in their diets and omega-3. So they allow fish. Once this village develops and becomes a thing, they're like, you know what? Let's give it a go.
Okay, so fish, the vegetable of the sea.
Yes, yes. Now here we have a bunch of traders for certain items, and they're all really lazy, as you can see. Like, we've got this guy who's just kind of leaning against the wall, arms folded, just waiting for someone to come and buy some ink. A guy over there is kind of just dazing out at the sea.
Oh, don't blame him, to be fair. It's a nice view.
I got this guy just kind of like sat up on his counter, leaning against the marquee. Are they marquee? What do you say? Marquee is the right word for it?
Yeah.
Go marquee. Another dude. What's this guy doing?
He's asleep, I think.
Oh no. Oh, so the next dude's asleep. So, no, this one's kind of just leaning against the pillar, like propping himself up against it. But then, yes, this guy over here is full on just zonked. No one's buying puffer fish. He's out of it.
Well, I hear they're really good eating as long as you get the poison out of them first, and that's, a skilled thing, I believe.
And as you know, pufferfish, not the easiest thing to find always.
I don't know what you're talking about. I found them dead easy.
Yeah, of course you did. But yeah, no, I think one or two were bought off traders, and then I had to go miles to a wall motion to find it. And these two are having a conversation about a big fish. So this guy is saying his friend caught a fish, this big, and the other guy's in absolute bewilderment at the size of this fish.
Ah.
And yes, they are all dressed the same. It is the market trader's uniform.
Oh, do they have a union and everything?
Yeah. Oh, we forgot the guy that's this one dude over here who's just longingly staring at the ships. Kind of at the ships, I guess. Actually, it's more like he's staring at the inn. Maybe he's got a crush that works in the inn.
Or maybe he's just dying for a drink on this hot day that doesn't seem to end.
There could be, yeah. That's just for this purpose. Now coming down here, we've got a different house. We've got this little squat hut. Now this is the chief of the fishing village, and he's also has the meetings here. He holds meetings in his house.
Oh, I like the pistons for a table. That's clever.
I find that like the pressure plates on top of a wall vent is too tall, and this just works better. And I don't always want like a really chunky one, like when you use slabs and things like that.
Mm-hmm. No, it works really well.
But yeah, we go.
I like that.
Pressure plate, piston tables. So there's there's a redstone torch underneath just to activate them.
Totally stealing that idea.
That's perfectly fine. We do have a sneaky ender chest in here because at the time I didn't have an ender chest close by. I was like, I really need one, so I snuck one under the counter. Particles kind of give it away. Unless,
the magic of being chief of the fishing people.
It's got magical storage, I know. And did I write? No, there's nothing in that book. There are, and the odd books do have some notes in to do with lore of the world. That's not one of them, apparently. Now, moving on, we have the local tavern pub, who have the first water capturing storage thingy up here. So it's like a big silo thing.
Oh, so it's not a big keg of beer. Okay.
No, it's water. For making beer. It'd be weird for it to be out back if it was beer.
A very trusting pub, if it were.
Yeah, it just gets stolen. But it's just a wooden version of, like, you know, like you see them in westerns and things, like the big tall wooden towers that hold loads and loads of water. Basically it's meant to be one of those. Kind of just, and we've got like the muddy path and stuff where it's been dripping, and I don't know if I actually put water. Did I put water in it? There's actually water inside.
Oh wow, you've gone that extra mile. There's actually water in there.
Actually water inside. And the only reason I can think is so that there is the occasional drip will come through. Probably won't see one, but the occasional drip should, unless it's double blocked.
There it was. I saw one.
Saw one. Okay, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so reason for the mud. That one drip. I did go that far with some of the details, and not quite that far in other instances. So this is the local tavern for visitors and things, and they have local catchers on the walls. This was before the armor stands could resize things, so it's just a head and a fish on an armor stand. It's quite small. Not a very big catch. Let's be honest, that salmon is kind of small.
No, but according to the man over at the marketplace, it was this big.
Yeah, it could be that. I mean, he was selling cod, but it could have been that salmon that he was on about. Technically, upstairs should be like rentable space for weary travellers and whatnot. It's currently empty because I don't like interiors. I don't like not doing interiors, but at the same time, I don't like doing interiors.
So to get upstairs, they'd have to, what?
So
Jump onto the bar.
There is a trapdoor to get behind the bar. And
yeah, but where's the fun in that?
They just pole vault over the bar and upstairs.
In a really cool way.
Yeah. But this also has a way to the back to go and get the very trusting beer, as you put it, which is water.
Oh, it's very cozy. I could drink here.
These are meant to be
just in the corner
with your pickle glass.
Mm-hmm.
Not pickle juice, don't worry. Then there's a pile of like the catch of the day that they're sorting through, ready to take up to the market and sell. We have a sign-in board. May have stole this from myself. Since this is the second iteration of this world, albeit in a different seed and done very differently. The names are not. So Bootstrap and Scuttler were names I used before. Bootstrap because Pirates of the Caribbean. Scuttler because you scuttle a ship when you sink it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bounder because, well, they bound.
Is this the one you...
No, the one I left Dinnercraft on to come back to the previous version of this world that I then crashed because Lee didn't tell me how to sail. It is actually Bootstrap.
Oh.
Yeah, where's Bootstrap? Yeah, there's Bootstrap, right in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle.
And I think I even gave it a red sail before as well. I might have gone full parody with this. Obviously, it has additions, like it's got fish full, and it's got fishing nets and stuff that weren't necessarily available.
I think 3 of us left Dinnercraft in various seaworthy vessels.
Yours was a little bit grander than mine.
Yeah, I have issues with grandeur.
I mean, Sev kind of sunk that one though, and then it came back to Hunters.
It wasn't her fault, to be fair. I mean, it's very hard and difficult to navigate through a storm.
This is true. I mean, I didn't know I'd have a storm, and I crashed into a sandbank, so you know, I can't say anything. And then again, going. Oh, another bit of lag. Getting a bit of lag today. We're trying to add life in. If you follow me over here, we have one out in the ocean. The little instances of life trying to come into the world. He's got a fresh catch on the end of his rod.
That looks really cool. And he has a blue sail.
Yes, they all had different sails.
That's really good.
Now, get back to land. That's the only thing out of sea, I'm afraid. So far. There will be more. Coming soon. This tree is also stolen from Daybound. There's a recurring theme. I mean, it's my tree.
Yeah. Is it stolen or is it just taken with you?
Reutilized from Daybound.
Memories.
Slightly adjusted, made it a bit thicker. I wanted like a... It's not even windswept. It's literally just dead from being battered by sea winds. It has died and still stands strong, just dead. Moving on. So following along the path of the road along, we're coming back to Worldspawn. So anyway, coming back this way towards spawn, we've had a little accident. I didn't want it to just be like, go to this place and there's this, and this place and there's this. So there's bits like off to the sides, like we've got the fishing boat out over there, and we have a little accident. I mean, not the pumpkins. The pumpkins are part of actual Worldspawn. They were up there with spawn when I came in, and I relocated them down here because they were kind of in the way. But I like the fact of having wild pumpkins.
I was getting the impression that the cart had fallen over and the pumpkins had fallen out as well.
It does also give that impression, yes. I mean, it could be that, but it's not. The cart's kind of just fallen over and been left and started to rot into the ground, and we've got like dirt and stuff appearing around it. So it could have been there were more goods and they've rotted away, and all that's left are the chests and barrels. It just adds kind of like a... I mean, we've got 2 points of interest here because we've got the burnt down tower and the fallen over cart, and then in the distance we can see the fisherman.
Yeah, it's really nice.
But then coming along, we notice a change in trees. Slightly. We have our first birch tree.
Nice.
Not
I like how
sure.
you've got it separating like birch trees do. Because in Minecraft they don't, they're just straight up, aren't they? But in reality,
yeah.
birch trees split, and that's really good.
I spent maybe like an hour or so looking at pictures of birches before even trying to design any. I was just looking at them. It's like, okay, how do they look? What sort of thing? And because they're quite droopy, birches in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just like lots of long strands of leaves, and it's just kind of trying to imitate that a little bit, I guess. They're not all like that, because I've got some over there that are very different. But the big one is trying to imitate the droopiness of a birch.
Yeah, I think it works really well.
Not sure on the concrete though. Ooh, skelly. Again, where you hear mobs, it may be that I have terraformed there, or there was a cave there. Yeah, there's cave underneath us. Amazingly, didn't actually terraform this bit much. It was pretty much as it was. I feel like I have to say that because I have a bad reputation with people that have played with me of terraforming massive amounts of land for...
But when you say you didn't terraform much, that's generally everyone else's terraforming.
It actually wasn't much for this path. It was just like a few blocks, maybe like a stack of grass. It genuinely wasn't much. Over the river, different matter. This bit, yeah, no, not that much. So here we have the first town, so the lead up to the first town, and this gate is kind of, it's not exactly like for like in terms of visualization, but I googled Tudor style entrances, like a city entrance, and there's this one that was kind of like it was a whole row of houses or like a big wall, and it had like this arch bit in the middle that was monstrously wide. And I thought, oh, you know what, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna basically turn it into like 2 towers with the arch thing. So the towers are my own thing, and then it's just kind of like the arch basically was sort of inspired by this image.
I like how it frames yet another huge custom tree of yours.
Yeah, that they do crop up quite a lot, I'm not gonna lie, and it's not gonna get any less throughout the world because I hate vanilla trees, despite the fact that there's a lot of them behind us. For now. Anyway, so moving across from there, this place really is. I try to imitate as much as I could with how I think it was in the past, based off like stories of like the London fires. How that spread was because of the closeness of the houses. So trying to imitate that a little bit, like the closeness. You'll see that as we get into it, but also playing with, like, you don't see an awful, like, you come across the bridge, coming across, like, you can't see an awful lot. You get peaks of bits. We get peaks of the docks. We've got a peak of the manor house up there, and bits of houses and stuff as we go along. But coming across, the first building you come to is the tavern, the inn. And our first actual vertically live animals. So the trees in to kind of close off the area a little bit, so it makes it feel a little bit closer because it's quite an open bit just here. And then we have our two horses. So this one on the left is actually called an A6. Kind of has a story between Sev and myself, going back to the, what was it called? It was a Discord bot, I think, called Me6, which obviously is a parody of Rick and Morty's Mr. Meese, whatever he's called, that guy. So we have an A6 because the bot was creepy, and for whatever reason we decided I'd name a horse that way. And then it might have actually been in your stream, I asked her to name my other horse, which I mentioned in my last episode. She named it something else, and I called it Lord Cartington to be a bit more PG.
Okay.
It was very similar to Cartington. The C was different. Now we do have the road sewers. They didn't have underground sewers necessarily back then, so mind your step. There currently isn't floating bits yet, but mind your step. You never know what you might step in.
Nice.
This is actually the only building that has... Actually, it's not the only building, but this is the first building that have a fully fleshed out interior of this size, I guess. But it's essentially the same repeated, because there's a lot of little rooms, but all the guest rooms and the proprietor's rooms are all decorated. So very similar to like the tavern of the other one. Like we've got the piston tables, pickles, and whatnot. Anyway, so yeah, very similar to the other one. We've got like a little bit of a kitchen going on here because they serve food. Very small kitchen. Can't say the food's going to be very good, I'm not gonna lie. But then, yeah, as I said, going up, every room in this place has a bed, a bedside table, and a desk, all with varying views, and they have carpets. So there's quite a few rooms, I think. That's the proprietor's room, slightly different, a little bit more. So they actually have a sink, a lot more storage, some books and stuff, and they can see people coming in at night if they're in their room. They've got a nice view over the bridge.
Ah, very nice.
And they're all kind of like, they're all like 3x4s, I believe. Except for down here, they get a little bit bigger. We've got like the double room on the end here.
A few extra guineas for these rooms then, I guess.
It's a more expensive room. They've got a nice view of, well, nothing really, because it's a very high window.
Oh, I don't know. It's a nice view of the water.
But look where you are to look out of the window. You're up on the windowsill.
Yeah, sitting here with a nice book, just occasionally glancing over the car. Oh, yeah, I'd pay for this.
That's 5 diamonds, please.
Oh, put it on the tab.
And then upstairs it's just all roof rooms that are, again, pretty much like 4x3 little things, except for the first one. It's kind of tiny because it's got stairs running next to it. It's a little smaller.
I'd hate this room. You'd hear everyone coming up afterwards.
There's always one though, isn't there? There's always one room that you don't want to be in because it's next to the stairs. But these rooms,
some mushrooms.
These rooms are actually a little bit bigger but they're lower because obviously they're in the roof space. Yeah, nice little inn.
Yeah, I like it.
And around the back of this place, we actually have the start of the docks, kind of. I mean, there's no docks here yet, but this is where the docks are going to be.
So, delivering fresh goods to the inn.
Yes. But also a drop-off point over here for all the wares that are being shipped. So everything that's potentially going to go over to said island once it's in development is going to be here and shipped over either by cart on a bridge when that appears, or initially by ship. They need the dwarves to build a bridge that big. It's a big bridge. You see the island from here?
Yeah, I can see the island from here. That would be a huge bridge.
It's gonna be a big bridge. There's there's a bit of a reef, kind of over in the middle-ish somewhere. Like it's not in the middle of the distance. It's like in the middle between leveling it off. So it's probably about a quarter of the way across, but in the middle. So I was gonna do a diagonal and a straight. Just because why not a diagonal bridge?
Why not?
But yeah, as you can see, this is just laden with materials and stuff for building and a bit of, yes, it's full of God knows what, along with ship parts. These are meant to be ship parts. They're kind of, there's not a lot you can do really to make ship parts. So we've just got normal planks and like the outer edge. So like the running from the keel up to around the side, it'd be like one of those long arcing pieces, or it could be potentially running from the back. And we have the frame of a ship being built here in our shipyard.
So we're going from the fishing style boat now to ships.
Yes, a little bit bigger.
As the world is getting better in technology, so is their
construction methods and things. Yeah. So as they're developing, they're learning new ways of doing things. So it's kind of like we're also traveling through the ages as we progress. Because you do find like some backwater little villages that still do things very traditionally out in the world. As well as obviously moving forward. So it's going to have like progression mixed in with fantasy a little bit as we go. But yeah, these are, this is essentially going to be like the transport vessel size. So it's not huge. We're not going to see like container ships. We're not getting that progressive. Not for a while. So it's kind of going to be a few of these scattered around delivering goods, and then in the docks here when they eventually get around to building them. But as well as this spot, we've also got kind of like a little warehouse around the back of the houses over here. So you're doing it as I said and doing it on foot. I'm completely going against it. I'm flying. Oh, okay. Don't look in there. I didn't actually to finish the inside of that. I got as far as placing a small pile of chests outside. So yeah, this is just going to be like a storage warehouse. There's going to be like a bunch of chests and goods out in this general area. But this is also where the bridge is going to be leaving from to the spot that we can't see from here. I've not decided the overall finishing spot. It's basically a full diagonal of here, but not quite. It's going to be a big dock over there.
Okay.
You may want to fly over because we're going back over the houses here for the full effect. Now these lamps, you'll have seen, because obviously you are English like I am. Old cast iron lights that used to be gaslit ones, like they'd come and light it at night and whatnot. This is a very poor imitation of one of those. I was kind of going for like the glass top with the arms that they used to rest ladders on to climb up, to light it and that kind of thing.
So is that armor stand magic that's put the glass over the top of the light?
That is, there are 4 armor stands to each light. So each iron bar, the chains are an armor stand. The glass is, as well as the pressure plate on top. There's like the cap.
Very clever.
There's quite a few of those. They took a while. But then, as I said, so trying to get the narrowness, the path itself's 5 wide. So it's like a narrower street, it's like the cheaper area, it's not quite as spacious, despite the fact that it is the main road through the town. But you could just stop off at the tavern and sneak through the side and do it that way. They obviously step out because Tudor houses stepped out for getting furniture up because they have narrow stairs. So you couldn't lift like big bookcases and things up. And they would hoist them in through the windows. So they stepped out. They were designed to step out so you could hoist them up that way.
See, I was under the impression they stepped out because of land tax. So they'd have a smaller bottom because then you didn't have to pay so much tax. But then they'd step out then for the extra room. That could have
also been part of it. It may be a bit of both. It's not necessarily what I found myself, but I'm not saying that you're wrong because there's every chance that that's actually probably closer to the truth than what I found.
It's probably a mixture of both,
yes.
To be fair. All I know is don't stand here.
Exactly, because, that's positioned very much over the sewer trench. Hence why I said there will be floating bits. I just haven't got around that far yet.
Oh, you are actually going to go that far?
Oh, yeah. Cocoa beat. Cocoa beat. So all these interiors are very basic. They've got like a front living room, back kitchen, stroke diner, and a couple of bedrooms. Some are a little bit bigger like this one, and they have a pantry.
Ooh.
Some don't. So we essentially have like three terraced and like semis. So if we come up, we've got like a small bedroom. Everyone studies in this world. They all have desks. They're all really keen on education, apparently.
No TikTok back then.
True. Despite the fact that this is supposed to be a poor household. But then the only thing that really changes downstairs in this, the only thing that really changes in this is the downstairs, and that is it's narrower and slightly smaller. So there's no pantry space. We've just got the kitchen and the living room, and then the 2 bedrooms again upstairs, which are a tiny little bit smaller. And in true terraced fashion, the middle house, the house between the houses, is actually a little bit narrower. So your end houses are always bigger because you're only sharing one wall, whereas this middle one's sharing 2 walls, so it's not got that extra space as the external wall. It's only like a block narrower, like one way, but it is slightly narrower. And these just repeat, kind of go around. We've got the detached version here, which obviously would be a little bit more expensive. That'd be a diamond block for this one. Can't put that one on tab on, I'm afraid. And it gets a little bit more spacious here because as we come through, this road leads to the back of the docks. So that's a cut through. We're not going that way. And again, these houses are all just cookie cutter repeats. And the interiors kind of end at this one. I mean, it's a lot of interiors. But,
it is a lot of interiors.
I didn't get past this one. I kind of got fed up. But yeah, so this road gets wider because it comes to this point to the docks, which is going to have the bridge from this point. So this is going to be like the main route to get to the bridge if you were to come this way. If you were to come this way, again, you could nip through like a side alley or something if you were on foot. Now,
oh, so this is where all the carts and the trade would come all along that road.
Yes, it's full of potholes.
It wouldn't be a British road without them.
This is true. So this is an example as one of the other birches, actually. Taller and spindlier.
Yes, because it's getting less light. It makes sense.
That kind of logic wasn't even considered, but sure, let's go with let's go with that. So then come to like the houses around the edge of the water and the back of the docks and things. It's a little bit more spacious again because it's a slightly nicer area of town, I guess.
All the traders, I guess, would live here.
Yeah, so it's basically like the dock workers live over there in the closer bit, and the people who work in the shops, the 2 shops, and the warehouse managers and stuff like that live over this side of the city, and going towards the manor house up the top. They are still the same size, they're just in a nicer area. But coming up here, we get into our 2. Well, you could call it the residential area. Partly. I mean, technically, there's only 2 shops, but the first one is this one, which is our general store, and this is where most of the time went to fitting out the interior.
Oh, leather helmets upside down as baskets.
Yes.
I like that.
Okay, I saw Cleo do it, and I was like, that is genius. I mean, it's Cleo. When it comes to armor stand work, anything Cleo does is genius.
True.
Yeah, it sells an assortment of odds and ends and fruits and veg. So all like your fruit, veg, and edibles are through the middle. They went with turtle eggs because they stack like that. I just pointed in real life, you didn't see. And then we've got like utility, a little bit more. Call it writing equipment.
Sponges. I could do with sponges. How much for your sponges?
Diamond block each. I know how bad you need them.
Oh no.
And then everything on this back calls like utility stuff. So we've got like lighting, flint and steel creation items, shears, buckets, like lighting stuff, then proper utility stuff. So we've got like leads, actual flint and steels.
You've got too many candles. There should only be 4 candles in the general store.
Should there?
Yeah, do you not know the joke?
No.
You need to look up 4 candles.
Okay, well, and then we've got seeds for like farming. Because, why not?
It's lovely.
It doesn't end there, though.
There's more.
There's more. The rich floor.
Ooh. Nice.
There was actually, by the fishing village, there was actually a sunken ship that is no longer there, which this guy came from. That trim just there, I don't remember which trim it was. And then just like some expensive stuff. This one was painful, the ancient debris, but I had to. And just little more normal stuff. No iron up here because it's iron.
But nether quartz, eh?
It's a little bit more exotic than the lapis. And then we do actually have the interior of the house for this place. There is bedrooms above, but they're kind of boring, so we're not going to go up there. But they do have a rather spacious kitchen diner. Again with the pickle cups, but they've got a flower. And a view of the other bay and some trees.
Yeah, it's a nice view. He's doing well for himself.
I mean, look at what he's selling. At this point, he's got, what's the word? Basically, he is demand and supply. Now, the other store we have here is the baker's. And again, I spent quite a bit of time in this place.
Oh, very nice. I like how you got them at an angle. It's very good.
That took more effort than I'm willing to admit. This door is, it's already open. It's quite finicky to actually get in and out of here sometimes because there is 2 armor stands right here to the side.
That's clever.
Oh yeah, there we go. I'm clicking on nothing's happening. Still not corrected this one. I keep meaning to correct this the slightly out of place pumpkin pie.
Oh yeah.
And I keep forgetting about him until I come in here. Never mind. So we've got the baker is putting up like sample cookies, and we've got a sample cake going on. Now we just got.
I feel like a child in a bakery. I want that one.
It is so tall. I know. I could have sunk the display cases down using armor stands, but it'd be so many then. And I've already used a lot in this town. I mean, when you lock them, they're alright, but it's still a lot. But then we've got because there's not a wide variety of food items, like a bakery, it's basically 4 things. I added in Nautilus shells and phantom membranes as other desserty goods.
Oh, you know what you got to put in here. You've got to put some ancient debris, so it looks like
I didn't even think that'd have been genius. That's kind of where I was going with the Nautilus shell, but yeah, that makes so much more sense. I completely forgot they actually look so much like them from on top. And then in the back, we've got kind of their main baking oven. In the back.
Ah, there you are.
Here I am. So they've got excess bread and cakes and cookies.
Nice.
Looks
quite warm in there.
I was going to do little button rats on the floor in here. Didn't quite get that far. Probably good that I didn't, but it kind of feels like it'd fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming upstairs, because this building's a little bit, well, it's just a bit weird how it ended up happening. There's a step up to the other half. So this leads to extra storage for cakes, of course. Don't particularly have a kitchen, just a sink. I guess they use the big oven downstairs.
And why not?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's nice and toasty. And then it's just like a landing in 2 bedrooms.
That's very nice.
We have quite a worn floor in here. They get a lot of visitors. Great for lighting though. They're hiding light sources. I don't know if I actually have it closed, but yeah. Will it close? There you go. Right. Then we've passed this one on the left, but it's kind of just an empty house. It's one of 3 better sized houses. They're essentially meant to be like the owner of the businesses sort of houses. So like it might be the bakery's rented out and the owner actually lives in one of these houses, and then like the warehouse owner, the guy who actually owns it, lives in one of the fancier big houses, and their gardens are done kind of.
Very lush.
No, they've got nice gardens. Their houses are empty. Didn't
Just a lone torch.
Yes. No more mobs spawning. And then we have the big house.
Wow.
So I actually didn't really point it out when we went across it earlier. So we've got the 2 bridges, which are essentially identical. However, that one is significantly less maintained than this one. So at low level under the water, we've got tough into mossy brick, and then we've got like cracks and stuff appearing, which makes no sense because it's the only bridge into the town. And this one, nice and looked after, no cracks, it's all well maintained. It's a little bit mossy at water level, but that you kind of expect.
Well, surely it's not a fact that one's more maintained than the other. Maybe it's one's more used than the other. Because if that's having carts and everything going across it, and
there
heavy
is also
loads,
that side of it, yes. But I'm going from the this one's better maintained because this is the selfish lord of the town's home. So he lives as an overseer, and just in his office overlooking the whole place, and very Mr. Burton's like. Genuinely, like when I built this and where the window positionings were, I think I said this in the video when I did it. What came to mind was like Mr. Burns in his big window with his desk behind him, like looking out, going, "Excellent." Because it is it's just like a big central window, and his desk is literally there. And I was like, "Oh, this is great." But yeah, here we have the manor house to town. He's the lord of the town and takes everyone's money. So has a much fancier, plush place with servants. So where I work is an old well, it was built in like the early 1800s. It's got a big stone staircase in it, and it has a central spiral staircase that was the servant staircase.
Wow.
And the left side of the property, the left side of the property would have been the servant side for the most part, so like where the servant rooms were, and where they went to circulate through the house. And the right side has a bigger side of the rooms, and that was like the actual owners of the house. So don't think I did this. Oh no, this room's just a pantry. It is an empty pantry. So based off that, because that was how it was, like servants would be in the house and they would shuttle around, like you've seen Downton Abbey. They're all very much behind the scenes and they have like little rooms they can cut through and whatnot to get to places.
Yes,
without
it's not
being
a done
seen.
thing. Yeah, it's not a done thing seeing the servants.
No, unless they're meant to be seen. So, serving. Just washing your feet there, Flaz.
Yeah, it's all this walking.
Yeah, they're getting a bit smelly. There's new armour as well. Either way, so this is a nice kitchen. It's nice and big. They pay a chef to come and I mean, he'd be a living chef, but he comes and cooks. It's a nice big kitchen. There'd probably be a few of them. There's a lot of worktop space, quite a bit of storage. Got 2 ovens. Very, very affluent household back in the Tudor times. Because generally they cooked over a fire, hot in a fire. And this comes to back of house. So servant staircase. But we also have a corridor that cuts through under the stairs to our study. This should probably be the dining room, but it worked out better to be the study, where they have a nice roaring fireplace.
Your tea, my lord.
And through here is the dining room.
Very nice with their red candles and high back chairs.
Yeah, I did the chairs in the same way I've done them before, but obviously extra back, and I went with the mahogany to give it a little bit more of an affluent feel. Like, oh, this is an expensive wood, darling.
That wasn't me.
Guy does nothing but break things. You invite him on and he just breaks things.
Honestly, you've turned it off. I can't break anything.
No, you should be creative.
Yeah, I could pick block. I can't actually interact.
Strange.
I could do that, but I can't break anything. And I'm okay with that.
Okay, that's... Well, considering what happened yesterday, that's good.
Yeah, it's safer this way.
So we'll go up the servants... we'll go up the servant staircase first. Well, down the servant staircase first. So down here we have pantry. They have a lot of storage space at servants. I mean, they would. They've got to serve the lord of the house and make sure you've got everything that you need for your fancy meals and whatnot when you're and to get out. And this is, again, more storage, but also my convenient way to get here.
So the servants have a pathway to hell. Okay, makes sense.
Yes. Yes, discounting the pathway to hell. This is... So, I mean, you never know, they might need to go there for mushrooms. It's a great source of mushrooms. Alright, we're going to main staircase it first because... I mean, it's the next stop off point anyway. But we come up, we've got a nice fancy painting, both in front and behind.
Oh, very nice.
And bedrooms either side, so... all 4-poster fancy beds. They have a wardrobe. This is the worst of the 3 rooms. I could have brought you in, I think. Possibly. We have the front one. A little bit nicer. They've got, 2 windows, view over the roofs of houses.
Very nice.
Bedside table either side. Nice headboard on the 4-poster bed. We have Mr. Burns' office. This is what I was on about. So we got the table and chairs, and he can stand behind it, arms behind his back, looking out over his tiny little empire. Scheming. And he's got a map, obviously, of his land. He owns the whole, well, yeah, let's say he owns the town.
Very impressive.
Another cookie cutter bedroom has just the same. And then the servants' quarters. So they obviously not where their beds are, but they do have like a bit of storage in here because there's not an awful lot when you go up in terms of space. They pretty much just have beds and a sink. You have 10 servants.
Yeah. Wow. So armor stand's going to be in here eventually of all the servants?
Maybe. I can't say yes because probably not, but maybe. Now the main every place is gonna have kind of like a main export sorts. So this is just like a toll town that everything's gonna run through to start with to get to put the main trade. So anything from this side has to go through here to get over there. Start with.
Ah, okay. So this guy makes his money from the fact that everyone's got to use his town.
Yes. However, they also have their own major export, which, coming over here, technically still part of the town, but outside the bounds of the town, with its path unfinished, is our logger's hut. Hello. Nice of you
Hello.
to find me out here. So, again, a little bit more cozy. Burly loggers sleeping in here on top of one bed. They've got the wardrobes. A storage room that was going to have axes and spare stuff in when I get around to it. And in here, their kitchen. Nice, dark, cozy kitchen.
Nice. Oh, I like how you've done the tree.
And I kept it
That's very
spruce
good.
because we're in a spruce forest, and it made sense.
Mm.
But this leads to something that was done quite early on in the world. If you follow me up the hill, we're going all the way to the top here. This place.
Ah. Proper logger's place.
So they have their own little logging camp up here.
And a fox.
And a fox, yeah. That's happenstance. Just lucky that he's there. But this isn't just a world relative place. It's kind of also a me relative place. Because it actually is where all the logging happens. Now we may be able to fly here. So coming down the path, we do have like a little stop off camp along the way because they're carrying logs and stuff down here because there's only one way to get them to and from. And that's really by boat. And to carry them down to the big burly men, they carry them all the way down here and they store them over here, ready to be shipped out over to wherever they're getting shipped out to. So this is their like little dock that they will store and ship logs out to. But the way it's relative to me is a little bit further up. So there happened to be this natural cave kind of underneath, and a little bit far. I dug out a little bit and turned it into my tree farm.
Wow. That's impressive.
So we have 3 different types in here. We have the one behind you, which is the nether one. This does nether stems and nether stems.
The warped.
Yes. So warped and crimson. Depending on what's underneath, it's a Ilmango design, I believe. But it's got impulses dispense system on the side. Because Ilmangos literally just harvest everything but the wood. Might not be Ilmangos, it might be already works. I don't know, it's one of them. Anyway, so Impulse kind of changed it so that it spits everything out, but well, no, it spits out the logs, it spits out the wart, it spits out the lights. So I use this because I wanted the lights, and they get stored over there, so everything runs. Obviously, you can't see if you drop down, so it comes down this tube, and I've got a waterway that runs underneath. So this comes down into it as well, the mangrove farm, and it runs along here. Got like a little drop-off point here because I have to do some manual chopping of like dark oak. And then obviously this one drops onto that platform and cuts down. And then it all come and meet into this storage system just here.
Very good.
There's a few of them that I've got like shroom lights, lots of root, lots of mangrove root, sticks, and then the bits that would be composted back into the machine previously from before Impulse made its change get composted here, but it allows me to keep the lights, and then that just gets moved back over to whatever machine needs it. However, I do have this monstrosity here, which is Ilmango's bone meal farm. So it's 3 bays of the city. So it's a modular system. So if you fly up to the top of it, so each one's like an individual bay, and it just extends onto itself. It originally only had it as a 2 bay, and added on the additional extra bay because it was a little slow for how much I was getting through.
Wow.
And this comes through down the tube and over here to a small storage system just here. It should all be full.
Wow.
Believe it or not, I get through it. These tree farms are hungry. The mangrove one in particular is actually really quite a hungry beast. Now from here, and even I can't see it from here, at the top of the hill. So from here, a little bit over there, we have a new spot, which you're gonna see in person for the first time here, when they load in. But there's 2 rather large statues over here.
Look at these. They're incredible.
Now these are technically the entrance to my soon-to-be dwarven kingdom. That, based on what I've since thought about, is going to be a very long process, I think, so it might have to get split up into parts. Otherwise, I'll be here for months. But they originally are built by Nishizumi. So I had to make a little plaque because I kept forgetting. So I found it on Planet Minecraft. I was literally just looking for dwarven statues, and I saw it, clicked on it, and I was like, oh, these are an actual build. So I downloaded it to look at them. And I was like, you know what, these are perfect. Obviously, have to credit the guy because they are incredible. I have changed the blocks. Like the base is entirely different. They weren't deep slate and spruce initially. They were like andesite and stone. And the tuff wasn't in there. The tuff was... I don't even remember what the tuff was. Yeah, oh, there you are. I lost you for a sec. And then like the eyes, because, you know, reasons from Mr. Tolkien's stories, I gave them gold eyes. And I changed the hammer a little bit in terms of its textures.
Oh, they're really good.
They are crazy good. Like, not obviously they're not mine, so I can blow the trumpet of how impressive they actually are.
Yeah, these are amazing.
They are. So one thing I did discover, because I wasn't sure where they were in Lord of the Rings world, other than Khazad Dûm. I knew they were an entrance, but as you can see, their hands are kind of in like a weird pose. So they're actually meant to be on like a giant arch in like images and stuff I've seen. So I need to do something that either they're holding shields, so I might do like a big tower shield, or actually like build an arch potentially, or something that gives it some reason as to why the hands are kind of just like in this weird, it looks really awkward a little bit currently because there's nothing there.
Yeah, they could be both holding shields at a 45-degree angle, tall shields, and then they meet, and that could be your arch. That could look quite cool.
That would also be incredibly tricky, but yeah.
Oh, come on. I've seen your trees. You could do a couple of shields.
I really struggle when it comes to like human organics. When it comes to like humanoid organics, I just can't do statues and things. I really do struggle with them.
If it helps, shields are made out of wood.
True.
No, they're really impressive.
There is one more place to this. Technically, I mean, it's not part of the lore of the world or anything much.
Okay.
But it is part of the world, so we could head over there and have a look at our last place.
Okay.
Welcome to the current only modern area of my world. Also, my industrial area was once a beautiful valley in a mountain, and I decided to stick an industrial area here.
And why not? I need these bollards in my life.
They are just bamboo. It works so well though.
Yellow bamboo, and it makes so much sense.
But they are yellow. I couldn't add like obviously get like the black bands at the bottom. Probably could now with armor stand fanciness, since you can shrink the size of blocks. I didn't have that at the time. But this is just like an industrial unit. You get, I mean, obviously you know, but like you get the industrial units in England that pretty much do look like this, and quite often they're either just straight line of them, or you do get like the L-shaped ones like this is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one I'd seen kind of recently had offices at one end, and then was just like empty units ready to be like retrofitted to like whatever purpose they were for. And the nice thing about modern is it's so simple. It's just concrete and stone with bits of wood. So yeah, this is just kind of like the office for whoever runs it. And then we have the villager prison. I mean, warehouse. They work.
Amazon.
Kind of. They were. There's even a toilet here if you need to go. You know, it's been a while. Oh, sorry, it's not functioning. There's no water. Never mind.
Oh, I can't wash my feet. Oh well.
So yeah, these guys initially were all underground. So if you, you want to have, do you have your free cam? Can you go through block? You can't go through blocks, can you?
No, I can on this one.
Okay, so if you go into free cam a sec and just go down, there's a giant empty void underneath us where the villagers used to live.
Oh yes. And a spawner.
Oh, I'm not going that far down. So there is. Yeah, it wasn't that far. I wasn't about. So yeah, these guys are purely here for the quartz. So I only needed a few of them. Oh, and bricks. I needed bricks, and this place is still very unfinished. But here is my emerald generation room. So buy windows of glass off these guys. So these guys on this side are all the ones that sell glass. I think it's all of them. Yeah, so they all sell glass, and now we sell it as paint to the cartographers and generate emerald, which are above me here. Yeah, just the middle chest for now.
Nice.
And these guys here are just extra books. I haven't got around to labeling them yet. For me, they're all discounted. For you, probably not so much. Through here is going to be my sheep. But currently it still has the back end of my sugarcane farm, which won't be a permanent resident here. It will be moving to a different village. As I said, everyone's going to have their own import-export. Well, export. We also have the Slime Pit of Doom. You actually can't see anything from it. It's only about 5 layers, I think, of slime spawning platforms. Maybe not even that, but way more than I need. In fact, if we go underneath, you can see how full it actually is. Also a makeshift bamboo farm.
Oh yes.
Because every world needs one of those. The other thing that's down here behind you is a plethora of books.
Wow, you have been busy.
Well, they said they were going to change villages. I didn't know how it was going to happen, so I was like, I'm stockpiling. But I did. So this is my villager curing system.
Just look at all suspect with those green arms.
Not at all. I mean, he's tried to disguise himself. But yeah, so the slime chamber over here is a bit of a drop. Hi.
Hello.
It's a little full.
Nice. I'll just take a few of them for my world and we'll be good.
Yeah, you're welcome to it. Although I don't think I've gone... Oh no, that might be bedrock actually. That might actually be as deep as you were planning on going.
Yeah, they spawn more the closer to the void that they are, apparently.
But also, you want nothing above them because they spawn better when they've got clear sky. That's why it's open to the world with glass. So, down here is my mining operation. So we have this is a copper layer, which mainly turned into a cobble farm. That's, to be fair, most of the materials go back with me. And it's not that far along. I mean, this is really short compared to the next one I will show you. So this is the tunnel bore. I actually sent you this tunnel bore in case you wanted to use it. But
It is on my list of things to do. That's a lot of ancient debris.
yeah, that's the downside to it. It took a while to gather, and this is one of 2.
They'd look really good in the bakers.
I know, but I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it, okay? I forgot ancient debris looks like cinnamon whirls. But as I said, like, as big as this tunnel was, it's actually not that big. You can kind of see the other end with logical zoom. It's not huge, but I don't need that much stone and stuff because I've gathered a lot. I don't really need copper too much anymore. I did for later, but that's where I got it from. This was going to be the iron floor. Then I got an iron farm, so I didn't need it. I just happened to pass through here along the way. It was useful for getting redstone though. Again, better optimum gold level. If I decide I did need a gold, like raw gold. Because I don't need the other stuff. I have lots of that.
Makes a lot of sense labeling them. I like that.
This is the main tunnel.
Wow.
You can actually see it somehow. I went a little bit further on this one, and they're not that full actually, but I kind of repair it as I go because it blows more of the floor out than you may want. So to keep it nice and smooth, mainly for torch purposes, you need a slime trunk, right, Flaz?
Oh, perfect. I'll just build there.
Wow, this is longer than I remember. I've not been down here for a bit. Yeah, same principle, just different level. Now, there is one difference with it, and that's the block I use for yeah.
What a flex.
Well, on the copper level, it's a copper block. Like copper ore, so this is what this level was for diamonds. Not that I really need diamonds. We've got a build to do. Possibly not right this instant, but yeah, we've got a build to do. So this is something you designed for this
year ago.
world? Yeah, a year ago. So it was yeah. So when I said it, I said, you know, if you want to do a build, these are the styles that we're after, and you've well and truly delivered. Like it is by far the biggest build so far. Yeah, and
Wow.
you've definitely delivered in terms of how it looks. It's a fantastic looking build.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, I had to go that extra bit just for you.
But yeah, we kind of have to. Oh, this was oh, it's a torch. I saw a puff of smoke. I wonder what it was. Yeah, we need to go and build that thing. So we'll
Okie dokie.
head back over there and get building, I guess.
Looking forward to it.
Right, let's go.